We have the Crystal Maiden, which doesn't get picked too often, so good to see CM here on the board. This is also a 5-man specialty, at least in terms of their draft. Get CM in there.
Yep. And this feels very good for both Tiny and Mirana. Both of these heroes are the most effective when they can use their spells whenever the hell they want. And Crystal Maiden is really going to allow them to, so that feels really good. And Crystal Maiden is often seen as a slow hero because he's, slow individually. But if you empower a lineup that really likes that extra mana regen, then as a result, you don't have to, adjust your tempo downwards to match with the resources that you actually have. You could just keep going. So it's very possible that 5 men are going to hit us with a pretty fast lineup out of this. But they need some damage because now there's an Underlord on the table. And that was precisely what I was going to say HellRaisers needed after those first 3, is they have a lot of damage, a lot of mobility. Now they need some form of beef in front. And Underlord is the definition of beef.
Oh, Wraith King.
Look at that.
Been a while. It is good to be the king.
If Ace does not have the Arcana...
He does. He should.
He does, doesn't he?
He must.
Yeah.
He must.
He must.
It's like there's once you go king, there's no going back.
He'll have to hand in his Dota license if he doesn't.
Dota license.
Yeah, I'll just go over to Denmark and take his Dota license away from him. He is Danish, right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
sorry, sir.
Very good ban. Very, very good ban, like for both teams either. Like the Venomancer, very annoying for both teams. Good to take that one out. We got DP from 5 men. So I guess if they wanted to play around a cooldown, that would be maybe the idea. That I mean, there's already the Faceless Void, which is somewhat of a big cooldown. I'm not sure if HellRaisers would like to have another one with a big cooldown, but
it's good damage into Chrono Synergy.
That too. Just kind of thinking here is, does HellRaisers really want to have another snowball hero alongside the Void Spirit? Because Void Spirit is already one, if that were to be the mid. Right now, it's looking like it's a support instead of a mid, according to 5 men's bans.
Yep. And
it should ban Queen.
Yeah, ban Queen. That looks like one of the heroes of 5 men. Although something with a little bit more beef would be preferable, I think. Because the Wraith King oftentimes still wants to be farming.
5 seconds remain.
I don't know. I feel like the Queen would be a good ban. Decent pick.
I've always liked Jessie on the co-op. Kunkka is also a possibility. I think Kunkka would fit in really nicely. Void Spirit really has to work around that ban. And also getting to throw a boat into Chrono is really nice. Would not be mad about that hero at all.
Also, Windranger is actually the pool. Windranger and Kunkka have been something that HellRaisers have been playing with the Faceless Void setup. So it's a tiny bit different than their yesterday's series. I'm feeling the Kunkka here a bit for HellRaisers. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they repeatedly pick it, but the ban Quap pick Kunkka. If they do decide to let the Quap for 5 men, I guess they could still go Ember Spirit, but I don't know. Ember and Void, if they're too great together.
There's also some anti-synergy going with Ember and Faceless Void.
Yeah, definitely. Ban the Tide, okay.
So they're counting on a tiny mid, and they might be right, although Jessie could still totally play this. This is not necessarily Jimmy.
Yeah. Could be. Pogna's a good save in the Chrono. Crepify the target Void wants to hit, or just Crepify the Void himself. Push your hero. You got Wraith King and Pogna, who can now push pretty well. And also Pogna's good for wave clear. Wave clear, that is.
Good for wave clear, good for sieges. It is going to force people to actually go in on him, as opposed to, 5 men needing to put a Wraith King under a tower in order to siege it. So by using a Pugna, you're going to force the Void Spirit to use at least one of his steps just to get the engagement. And that makes it significantly harder for him to do what he wants. And oh, that is a direct counter pick if I've ever seen one.
So that is a mid void, and we get Nyx Assassin, and Xibe will take out Pugna. So we have our drafts ready for both sides.
I think I'm flying to Denmark.
Taking away the license, eh?
Yeah, does that look like an Arcana to you?
Very true. He doesn't even have pieces of the Wraith King. That's true. Like, nothing. No throne, no nothing.
And to be fair, in these times, you gotta be careful with your money, and Valve hasn't exactly been giving any of the TI money back recently. Previously, if you're a top-level player, you can justify putting a lot of money into your battle pass because you think, man, I'm gonna win that all back, but not right now. Still though, if Denmark's warmer than Finland, I might just go there. Like, hey, dude, that was really fucking close, you know that?
Yep. I mean, if it's warmer than here, then I guess might as well just drop by for a little bit of a longer vacation there. I mean, you've been here in Finland for like, what, half a year now?
Half a year, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so half a year in the next place?
If I'm going to stay anywhere, Netherlands, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, home sweet home. It doesn't really get better than that. I've actually, I've lived in Finland now for 10 years, I think. I mean, I'm Finnish born and bred, but I did live in Belgium when I went from secondary school to high school. I had to kind of restart my life in a sense, if you can put it that way. I know this is a life story. I know you guys hate it, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
We have a pause. We have time.
We have time. And I mean, I was like, what, 2008 to 2010? I was in Brussels in Belgium, so I was actually pretty close to the Netherlands. And I was on a Finnish class in a Europe school, which was really cool. Like, we had like 4,000 students in that school, and it was, maybe I could say, like one of the best years I've ever had in my entire life. Like, those were just amazing years that I had there. I started doing music. That's actually where all my music history comes from. So wait,
I would actually like to tell chat, because they seem doubtful of that. They're saying like, he's doing like metal growls. So, like, yes, actually, this man is a metal vocalist, and you can't just do this to your voice if you don't train for it really hard, because you're going to murder your vocal cords. Please don't do it at home. But this guy is the real deal.
Yeah, I've kind of shifted out from growl. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, I did kind of change out from growling, since, you know, like, I never really thought I was a good singer. I wasn't ever really happy with what my voice sounded like when it was coming to recordings and stuff. I think the same thing was coming into casting as well. You can only get better by just practicing and doing it. So I did the same with metal music. And I was 14 years old when I figured out that, hey, I can add distortion to my voice. And I was actually destroying my throat really bad at that time. So I was like, yeah, you should do it for like... The voice is supposed to come from inside, and I was instead, like, you know, twisting and tuning it with my throat. So yeah. It took a couple years of practice, and then you just kind of have to keep on doing it so you don't really damage any parts. I just happen to have this sexy whiskey bass, you know, like, that's just come throughout the years, and that's not because of growling with death metal music. But anyway, we might get some deaths here, or we don't actually. Considering Sibet just driving Duraccio and Non-Grata away.
30 seconds.
But yeah, that's it for the life stories and history lessons. Would be funny if we actually would be funny, like, you know, with other MOBA games, they actually make like small soundtracks and stuff for every like ladder season or something. They release like a new music video or something. Wouldn't it be cool if we had like our own Dota themed like metal band or something?
Sure, yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah, like proper Valve music video production and all that stuff. That would be sick.
Valve spending money on stuff that doesn't print dollars?
It could print into dollars. I mean, they could play at the after parties and everything. That would be cool. I don't know.
I'll
Just
tell you
throwing
what
it
after parties are like
yeah, I'll just
after we're off.
yeah. I mean, after parties was just an example. I mean, like parties overall or anything. It's just like, yeah, just something like that. It would be cool to
It
have.
would be really cool, but
Because we did have Darude Sandstorm.
We did.
Anyway, to the laning stage itself. So we had our bounties split 3-1 actually for 5 men. And Phonic is being bullied out of lane, which is a good sign here from 5 men. It's Ace and Pylite Eye forcing the Underlord quite heavily here. If they can do it again with their combo, they've got Crystal Nova leveled up. So good harass, and that enables the Wraith King to also chase a bit more.
Yep, and you gotta just bully this man real early. The longer he gets to stay in lane with it after Fiora, the harder he gets to deal with. But as long as you keep him down, it's hard for him to properly get back up. At least in the sense of like bothering you. Of course, it's an Underlord. He's going to use his Firestorm to get creeps later on in the side camps, but at the very least, he's not going to be bothering you with it as much.
Of the mid lane, Void Spirit versus Tiny. So Sani, if you're fast with your fingers, you could use to simulate the dodge, but right now it looks like he doesn't even need to level it up. So you're using the taunt, try and combo up against Chessie, and Chessie will just respond instantly with an avalanche, since your spells will go through that shield.
Exactly. And in that regard, Sani has to be very careful once Chessie gets up to those levels in Avalanche and Toss, because he can and will get bursted. We've seen that happen before. If Sani's careful, it will happen again. Isn't careful.
The choice is made.
CS department is dividing pretty nicely. Phonic trying to grab the creep wave away, but Ace is dragging Phonic's creep wave to his, so it actually blocks it for a bit. But a double range creep, this lane might start pushing, and Lila's doing a good job just dragging this easy camp away so you can't actually pull it. And this massive wave is about to clash with Phonic's creep wave, and that should be some free farm and levels for the Underlord. I think Lil should leave the Underlord here, grab that solo XP, hit that level 3.
Yeah, and you can see that he's sort of trying to stay out of range, but not that much. He still wants to be close enough just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
You can see Ace is really positioning for it. If Phonic oversteps a couple of units, he's going down.
Yeah.
Steal your face.
I have to eyes open for that. Darachu bashing up Misery. With damage from the Impetus Spears to Decrepify from Tsipe, looking for the blast. Void unable to regenerate that.
Extremely annoying lane for HellRaisers to have to fight up against the Enchantress. Not happy about the Mirana at all. And Shibik with a good blast can just kill her outright as well. Daracho has to save all of his time walks for after he gets blasted. But that does mean that, you know, he has to sit around with his finger on that button the entire time, and Shibe just gets to deny creeps by decrepifying him. It is all just annoying. And then Grata moving over to control the runes.
Yeah, it's a good move to show up here. They've actually got both supports on both sides, so they understand the importance here that Chessie doesn't get a bottle fill, and Sani will get his Ace rune picked up. Phonic is closing up on hitting level 4. Lil has leached level 3 and is actually getting a bit of XP here as Ace is clearing this camp up. Actually steals the big CS there from Ace.
Yep. All Lil wants to do here, honestly, is get his level 6 and get out of here. At some point, you just want to have Phonic up here, pushing this wave, then going back into the jungle to farm, leaving Lil completely free to roam the map.
Gonna get the the enchant on Misery. Darachu slowly getting there. Doesn't quite want to use the jump on a kill, and there's actually a fight going on top, and Lil will take Pylite Die down.
Yeah, I was watching that and was calculating.
Yeah. It was a bit surprising in a sense. But then again, it's a Nyx against the CM, so Nyx will do a lot of damage nevertheless, so... Fortunately, we missed that one, though. Chassis walking back into Kasani. They are very tied up in XP at least. They're both going to hit their level 6s very soon. And I think Void's level 6. You think we're going to see an early rotation from the Void?
Let's see. I think if this Pugna pushes his lane too far, that would be the ideal target to take down. Because Pugna has no defensive mechanisms versus a Void Spirit whatsoever. It's like you decrepify him, cool, does nothing. He decrepifies you, also does nothing.
Easy courier kill there for Xibe as it just flies right next to Duraccio and it's just given right to him. It's getting burnt up, rooted up, stun from Lil. Ace in trouble, and that should be a kill, and it is. Funnick will punish Ace. Any bit of overconfidence there from the Wraith King.
He's got a lot of staying power, but into 3 levels of Firestorm? Not that much, my friend.
Raccio's in big trouble. No time walk. Has a lot of stick charges to heal up. There's a fairy fire explosion coming in. Right clicks, and that should be enough. They turned around. They thought they had the kill. But they saw the 1 charges go off. So, like, he probably doesn't have any more healing. And then that fairy fire. That's a big important one for the Faceless Void. But that means that Duraccio has to walk all the way back home. Though, would you rather give away your life there for the XP and the kill and then be able to TP back, or will you just take this that you're walking back home 25 seconds?
You take the walk 100%, because he was going to have to go base anyway if he wanted his Gloves of Haste, because his courier, well, we saw his courier die.
Yeah, his courier died, yeah.
So this is 100% the best case scenario for him.
Just sometimes thinking that every creep wave spawning every 30 seconds,
Actually,
you're missing
mid, but that is... Oh no!
Moo.
Oh no.
Okay. He wanted to fill Void's bottle and get some bottle charges while regenerating and then, you know, take over. I don't know. That's their TP on cooldown. You're in deep trouble now. Xibe is also in big trouble. Input a spear from Nongrata. This is Lil making rotations with the Nyx. Working out nicely.
Ace has already retreated into the jungle after getting a couple of levels into his Mortal Strike, so he has the skeletons to jungle with, and he's like, I don't really want to fight Funnick for these last hits anymore. So yeah, this is exactly the scenario that Funnick wanted as well. Just, you know, leave him alone, get the top lane, and now Lil gets to move. And Duraccio came into mid again. I'm guessing that the idea is to give Xani the time to leave this lane and rotate, but it is very visible like this. Everyone's going to see this coming from a mile away.
Lil is getting some XP
might
involved.
still actually die though.
Yeah, might.
He should.
Where? He's aware. But Xani is still gonna make this move, and the haste rune is there, so it's just down to them. And they get that creep wave under the tower as fast as possible so they can actually punish the CM. They're gonna get any saving rotations. Xani walking right under the ward. The ping does come out. It's from Funnick. Alidai TP's away. Ace is coming back. He's level 6. He skipped reincarnation completely, so he's put more points in his crit.
Yeah, sometimes you see them holding a point for the reincarnation just in case it comes in handy, but oftentimes you don't want to be risking your life in fights at this point.
Yep, Paladai deep take B, but he's still gonna end up in the hands of Xani, who has one more jump, and that's it. Alright, so Paladai, well, thought he was smart with the TP, still ends up going down. You kind of averted danger once and then tempted fate.
Yeah, at the same time though, do you really expect Xani to stick around? I mean, they could see him is the problem, isn't it? Normally I'd be like, would he really still be there? But yeah, they could see him.
Like, they saw him under the ward a while ago, and there's like, well, there's been like 20 seconds we haven't seen him. Maybe he's gone back or something. Walks all the way back mid with the haste. Gets a royal jelly buff, which is really good for the Void Spirit here. Funnick driving Ace away. Might as well actually opt into net worth. So Void Spirit with 4,000 as we hit the 10-minute marker. Bounties being picked up. A DD rune for Xani might just rotate back to top and fight even more. Ace, now level 7, has put 1 point in reincarnation, feeling he is being threatened a lot now.
like that death from Pilot Die there definitely at least kept HellRaisers busy, and they did want to take this top tower because at the same time the Pugna was taking bot. Oh, Chessie. Yeah, Dyrachyo gets out this time. Not again.
They are pushing and pressuring this mid tower, which is very good for 5 men if they can get this out of the way.
There is a Chronosphere waiting, but how much damage do HellRaisers have to throw?
Yeah,
into
Lilith's
them?
coming in.
Find
There's
out
the
right
Chrono,
now.
but it lands on the Pugna. It's the solo target. Really good play there from Pilot with the Frostbite. Lil will go down. Sonny with the DD room coming in as well. Exhibit with the Pugna will fall out of play. Chessie and Misery will run out. There's a CM ultimate coming out as well. They're zoning Sonny away and Phonic as well. They will get the tower. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And the Chrono has been used. So this is a win for 5 men. But can they get more? They go for the Avalanche onto Phonic. Another Starstorm connected by Misery. But they notice that this is a very futile task. And Sonny even shows up back again. So if they stayed, they might have just died. So they're happy with that. 1-for-1 on a tower.
Yep. And that's a mid tower without any possible direct retaliation from HellRaisers. Even taking care here on Chessie to get that wave down again. Misery? Maybe got a bit cheeky here. Lil still wants to make him pay for this.
Spear coming in. Lil hunting Misery down. Vendetta stun. Too far away. Impetus. Getting in range.
No, not this time.
Not this time. Meanwhile, there's a chase on Xani. Chessie trying to get the toss towards Pilot Eye, but far away. Very close to it. And also, looking at Tiny with these plays, if they got that 1 kill, Chessie still wants to kill some people because that would be progress towards the Blink Dagger, which is like 700 gold away.
I'm just quickly checking on the items of these carries here. There's a lot of space being made for them. Chessie is...
Yeah, Chessie exploded that inch.
I do realize that Chessie plays one hell of a Tiny, and maybe 5 men can win that previous game on his Tiny too if he goes off again. This man is an absolute pick-off monster, but you can't win them all.
Okay.
So, double Midas, both sides. 1 for Dyrachyo, 1 for Ace, but Ace is always going to farm faster with that Mortal Strike, with the skeletons wiping the jungle for him.
Yep. Smoke will be used by HellRaisers. Out of vision range as well. Pilot Eye is there, but I think they would love to get this Pugna. Spot the CM. They're not moving toward it. They see the explosions and creeps are dying, so they're like, somebody's here. There's a chance to get 2 for the price of 1 smoke. Sipe, Sixani, MLS is out. Do they have detection? They're looking for the stun on the Pugna. The taunt misses, and he just cast canceling, and he can't get it to land, but Sunny does all the work. And Pilot Eye will actually live. That was difficult for the Knicks to land the stun. Pugna was just zigzagging, but at the same time, Xani was just closing in the gap.
Solid pick-off. Especially because they also waste some time over on the side of 5 men, but 5 men are not content sitting around. Chessie smoked up now, he's got a Blink Dagger. So who's it gonna be? Is Dyrachyo biting the dust here? That's a tough kill, but I think they want it. Oh, there's a haste here as well. Chessie can't take it, he'd give away that he's there.
Yep, there's a courier coming in. Now they go, they're gonna jump in, and that should be enough to stick charges. Just the backup CM ulti, just in case after you saw that those stick charges being used, that if he accidentally manages to jump away.
Oh yeah.
But important, they get the kill.
Always secure. Especially when it's this Blink Dagger reveal. You get a lot of just moral boosts out of it as well.
Yeah, there were some interesting mistakes done yesterday when they kind of left things halfway. People would turn around fights because of people being left alive. So they know not to leave anything undone, unfinished.
Yep. And I want to point out here, by the way, that this is once again a Pugna Tiny, which means that with the help of the Decrepify, this Tiny can keep on bursting people with his Avatar's combo for way longer into the game than you normally could.
True. Lil. The stun. Avalanche from Chessie. Lil getting so almost sucked alive. 150 remains. Yeah, Tranquil Boots are still up. They never got broken, so that's a lot of reach. And Funnick, however, is being surrounded from every direction by 5-man heroes, and he's gone.
I guess Jesse found Funnick. Never mind.
And that's a couple kills now. That's 2 with the Blink Dagger in the course of 1.5 minutes. Very important for them that they can keep on going. And Jesse's mana pool definitely seems to allow this. Ratio now in mid. Pile die in the trees.
Remember what I said about that CM?
Hmm?
Heroes with small mana pools especially get way more out of that flat mana region.
That they do. And you're too deep.
It's such a classic.
He's dead.
Yeah. Can't provide the mana and you're dead.
Yep.
Pie.
Yep. Pie.
Oh well, it's what he does best, isn't it?
Definitely attracted some attention there. But 7-5 on the score, 2k lead for 5 men. XP is almost 4k because of the landslide that is growing here between these two teams in terms of XP. Is that the Tiny's just getting kills with the Blink Dagger, and Wraith King is level 13, so Ace is doing great. He is looking to build into Silver Edge. What's your take on that?
Interesting decision.
Ooh,
like,
Funnick's Courier with a hood on it.
Oh, that's painful.
But yeah, the Silver Edge.
A Silver Edge. I'm not sure if he wants to buy the entire thing immediately. Oh, hold that thought. I found Ace in the
We're
jungle.
holding that thought. Reincarnation might pop.
Is he going to pop? Yes.
We'll teleport away. They know that's a very long cooldown. That's 2 minutes now. We'll get back to the Silver Edge. We'll see if, once it's ready, if it will pay off for 5 men. I have my doubts about it, but I guess...
I'm not sure that he's going to buy the entire thing at once. I think it's more likely that he queued up for the... Damn.
Well, you want the Shadow Blade or you want the Echo Saber?
The Echo Saber. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely buying parts for the Echo Saber now to go along with the Armlet. A lot of attack speed, a lot of good nuke, a chance for some crits as well. Smoke, Funnick Smoke, instantly broken by Pile Die. The Crystal Maiden in the front line. Doratio looking for it. There's an arrow caught by Xani. CM is still in the front line taking the full bait. I have to say, this is a really ballsy play by the CM, but they can't get to the assistance. Though it's still only a CM down. 5 men still might just come to the defense of this tower. Love how CM's not afraid.
Awkward, right? Yeah, but do you remember when we, or was that with D-Drop? I don't remember, because I cast them before, and they played Tiny Pugna, bursting people real hard. I think it's Jesse who gets burst here, though. Those heals, are they enough? No, they're not going to be enough.
Well, plenty of healing, but the further you run away, the further you stray away from your life, and it's a 3-man chrono from Doratio. Pile dies inside it. Xani, Non-Grata doing the damage. They've got the CM out of the way, but still the cores are alive. 3 heroes still there. HellRaisers deciding to still stay around in the area, but can they keep this up? Beautiful chrono interrupting 5 men completely.
And interrupting me completely. All I wanted to do was talk about how Pi previously overpositioned on Pugna and got Jesse a wealth of kills and allowed him to snowball a game completely out of control.
Yeah, they
so
just
this was very much deliberate, but yeah, in this case, didn't quite work out, and Jesse eventually pays with his life.
They just didn't want to let you finish what you wanted to talk about.
No.
Like, we just want to fight.
And they should, like, Void Spirit with Chrono off CD, he should definitely go for it, because that is his one way to make up for the fact that he just doesn't farm as fast as a Wraith King does. Otherwise, he's just going to fall further and further behind. And you know, normally you'd say, alright, fine, but it still faces Void, you still have your Chronosphere. Well, there again, it's a Wraith King, you only have 1 Chronosphere, and he's got 2 lives.
True. Does nullify the Chronosphere pretty well. Only in very rare occasions would you use your Chrono on the Wraith King to blow him up one time. Pugna is lining up a Dagon. So, Decrepify Dagon with Tiny.
Yeah. They're coming all in on this.
Yep.
Love it, honestly. They're
Good.
just extending this window where they can blow people up and start a fight with manpower advantage. And then Ace gets to do whatever he wants. He can join or he can leave if that's what he wants. But yeah, we've got Echo Saber online. We've got Armlet online, and this Roche is dying faster than you can say Avatos.
Well, let's see if Fiveman can interrupt it faster. Jesse and Xzibit will block that smoke attempt here, and they will be interrupted while Roche is still going down. 3,000 HP on Roche. Can they get there? Void is farming the lane right now. 2,000 HP. Phonic walking in between. He's got so many hostiles in every direction. That takes a lot of nukes from here, and he's still up for now. Xzibit will slowly drain the life force out of Phonic's Underlord. And back to the Roche we go. 1,900 HP. This puts HellRaisers in a lot more awkward of a position to being Sani. Does he want to try and jump into the Roche pit? Nope. They're going to go for Tiny instead. Misery's around. Rolls into the air. They've got the stun connected onto Tiny. Chessie falling down. Chessie's down. Pilot on the run. Ace looking for the stun until Lil. Lil will go from the Vendetta and dodge it. There's the Chronosphere and the heal coming in from Sivit. But it's not going to be enough to save the CM. And now Wraith King, he's got 2 lives. He's got 3 lives in this case now. So they can't quite change their target prioritization onto the Wraith King. But instead, Misery, okay, somehow manages to outrun the stun coming in from Lil. And it never actually connects.
That looked like it should have hit.
The animation is a lot broader than you would think, and yeah, that was like pixel close with that jump.
Once again, Chessie, the way that he goes in here, I said exactly the same thing last game, but he's doing exactly the same thing once again. He tries to get engagements while the enemy is still willing to engage because they think the Roche is still going on. If he lives, he gets his team an amazing follow-up. If he doesn't live, well, you know, he'll be back to bother some bugs.
Yep, they're 3 versus 1 here, and Xzibit once again healing Chessie. Chessie will live. Lil survives with a bit over 100 HP from that nuke from Chessie, and Chessie just gets the help from Xzibit, so nobody dies. A happy world of Dota where nobody dies.
It doesn't make me happy.
Kips wants to see slaughter. Murder, yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see if Ace can deliver some of that. Shadow Blade is ready. Echo Saber is ready. Doesn't reveal his Shadow Blade yet. There's no vision for HellRaisers whatsoever in this top area, but they find the Void. Chessie tosses the illusion. Mirana, does he have arrow? No, she doesn't have her arrow ready. And Yules herself as well. Clicking on the ground and ends up clicking on the hero. Lil.
We're going for an Avatos arrow combo.
Yeah, they were. Managed to dodge that one. 35 seconds for Chronosphere to be up again. And 5 men want to increase the tempo. Ace is coming in again. He's been spotted. They know he has that Shadow Blade. He's very close to his targets. Lil right next to him. The stun will connect the non-grata. Baccio is farming some ancient stacks, probably made for Ace. You happy to take
I
these?
think I'd like the Silver Edge more if he wasn't buying an Invis initiation item in a game where you already have Invis initiation through Mirana. So there are already going to be sentries all over the map. It doesn't add that much in terms of, well, what the active of the item offers at the very least.
Yeah.
As for the amount of, you know, attack speed that you get out of it, the damage, sure, still pretty nice, but it's like, I'm not 100% convinced.
Yeah, that's also just going to increase the awareness of your opponents that they have even more Invis, so they're constantly on their toes.
Their sentries are worth more.
Oh, finds Misery in the river. Vendetta. Yules. Stun. Rooted up as well. Taunt coming in. Nothing you can do. Just stuns for days. Sani looking for a little dive in deep. Chessie will be linking out. So runs away. This Twilight die. Does he get from... Yeah, non-grata has no cancel, so he's fine. Xzibit choking in the trees. They catch the Tiny with a Chronosphere. High five. Delivered. But it's given by Phonic. A high five on the kill. 25-minute bounties are in, so 2 for 2 and 2 kills.
Still a smooth defense here by HR. They are losing towers and they are losing terrain, but it's not like they're getting pushed out of the game at all. And this Faceless Void is going for a Skadi, interestingly enough, so he really wants to be able to stand and deliver in these fights, diminish any of the healing that is going to be coming out.
A lot of HP to try and burn through, so Funnick will keep the Pit of Malice down on the ground. Small opening on the side of it, but they don't have to use it. Mine is also up in 3 seconds, and it will be back to full strength.
And I really enjoy how Funnick has been defending his terrain very much forward here by hiding in the trees, making sure his teammates are there, because it means that you don't have to give up all of the terrain here just because there's a bunch of enemy heroes coming up. The creep wave will die if you firestorm it. But you see, as soon as you let that position go, there's space to maneuver 4 or 5 men. They're coming in right now.
Yep. Oh.
Look at that damage!
Oh, look at that. And Non-Grata will follow suit.
This is why the previous idea was good. They had a sentry down there too.
5 men just seem to play it a tiny bit better than HellRaisers do. Like, HellRaisers have been holding out really nicely. Now, it's 2 big heroes gone, and the Underlord especially just melts when Ace starts to throw those hits in, and I think that's exactly the target he wants to look for, since the Underlord is going to drop quite a lot of your damage output. They're going to go high ground here. 0 hoots given, and onto the tier 3 tower right away. Link in. Jesse will toss him backwards. Yules, that's saving one. Still have... No, actually, he doesn't have the stun available. Now it's out, and a lot of people getting stunned up. Lil will finally get exploded by Pile I Die. They get the tier 3. Ace still wants to stay. He's feeling it.
This is the big difference between how 5 men have been playing and how HR have been playing, right? You can see that 5 men have a condition where they can go for this base.
6 seconds for Chronoxani going in the middle of the team. Difficulties, very big difficulties. Pile I Die is out. Lil with the buyback, though.
The arrow hitting there wouldn't have done anything, but it's still... You still wait and see if Xani catches it with his face or not. But yeah, as I was saying, 5 men have all of the initiative in this game. They hit their timings, then once they get them, they can't just fight, but they can actively take the fight to HR. Look at Lil stalking the Tiny. Misses the stun though, and now Funnick teleported in, wants to follow up, but he is not in time.
It's a lot of damage and Lil's out. Dagon in the face.
Well, at least Funnick can be happy that he didn't show himself. Otherwise, he'd be getting hunted right now. But instead, Xani might be next to go. Ah, there's
bounce, Bambi, bounce. Was into this for a second. Yeah. Gets out for a bit longer than a second. Arrow, nope.
Oh.
Escape. Toying with their prey.
She had a good chance of getting out there, though.
Yeah.
Didn't guess wrong. And in the meantime, both Void as well as the Underlord get to push waves top and bottom. They're doing this right. You know, if you're throwing heroes at the problem, you gotta throw them one by one, and you gotta make sure to get stuff done on the other side in the meantime. And oh, that creep really spoiled Misery's fun right there.
Yes, but Jesse's still in. Void doesn't have many tools here. He's got Chrono, he's got the jump. He will return most of that HP, tries to TP away. Gonna be a close one, and Dorachi is out. 2600, 2700 HP even on this Faceless Voids. Try and kill that guy down.
Like half a second cooldown on Wraithfire Blast though. That was some balls. Xani makes sure that he does not get caught by this arrow. Uses an illusion rune.
Ace gonna get caught by Dorachi. Dorachi just gonna keep on delivering hits. Wraith King might pop for the first time. Still there's a BKB available. Very hard. He's been cornered. There's nowhere you can go. Round one's completed. Dyrachyo jumping on the low ground, going for the chrono, catches 2 heroes, and Xibe is there again with the Decrepify to keep the Crystal Maiden alive. Murata will be thrown into the Arxani, trying to chase down Xibe. Xibe will be forced away, and he will go down as well. Ace still trying to deliver the hits. Meanwhile, they've got Pylai Die on the other side, and that's 2 heroes gone from 5 men. And Roche just spawned. They just walked out of the pit. Roche is up.
Oh no. So, yeah, with the Skadi on the side of Faceless Void here, you can see that the Wraith King actually can't fight him anymore, toe to toe. It's not happening. You don't lifesteal enough anymore, sir.
Wait.
Scouting arrow, nice, we blocked.
Nix will catch that. And still continuing with it. Ace. Only Ace had a blink dagger or something to go in. Lil will catch another arrow. Ace will be spotted. Will take the hurt onto the Nyx assassin. Phonic wants to TP them away, but he has to cancel because Roche is not falling fast enough. Dyrachyo will take the Aegis for himself. The cheese is on the Void Spirit. Soxani has secured it, and Ace is going down. Ace is out. Xibe will fall as well. He's dropping too low. He wants to survive. Double kill for Dyrachyo. While I die, Ace is still chasing Nongrata. Ace with the BKB is now going right out of there, but he's getting slowed up. However, that Silver Edge will keep him safe. Jesse tries to help out while I die, but that's all that the Tiny can really deliver here, and Tiny's dead as well. 4 heroes gone from 5 men. And Wraith King was only just about to get that ulti back off cooldown, but still can't go in. Apparently there's some lag spikes going on, and also, fellow viewers, I noticed that there's maybe some FPS dropping. I don't know what is causing it, because my FPS is fine here on my end, so I'm not sure if Twitch is bugging out or something. I don't know what's going on, but everything's fine here, so hopefully it doesn't last for the entire evening. But yeah.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope
anyway,
it doesn't.
I just want to say that the way that HR has grabbed control back in this game is extremely impressive. The fights that they took leading up to 5 men going to the high ground, taking the tower, were kind of messy, but they were definitely also just still buying time for Dyrachyo to get that Skadi online, and they were very confident that that was going to do the trick, because you can see it in the way that they started moving after he got the item, the way that they completely, you know, neglected using the Chronosphere almost every time. Ace's first life, no, we're just going to man fight him. We're going to see if 5 men want to engage around him or not. They don't seem to want to do it, so everyone's waiting for the Chronosphere to actually go in, and it's working out beautifully for the side of HellRaisers. So 5 men's going to start to have to risk more, because if they don't get that Chronosphere out while Ace's first life is still going, they're going to get caught together once he's busy respawning and can't actually help them out. And yeah, once again, you already said it, right? If only he had a blink dagger. I do feel that if he wanted to have an initiation tool, that would have been maybe the better choice over the Shadow Blade, because it just got him a lot of damage, but how many good engagements did they get off of it? Maybe they get one here. Phonic was a bit overzealous.
Yep. Well, I die. Dyrachyo will take him down. BKB pop by Xani here. Xibe will be the target of the Void Spirit, and they will take the second one out. Misery getting hit by a very big Impetus Spear. And Dyrachyo will just quickly follow up with the Chronosphere to make sure that they get this one. But Ace is fighting back. He takes down Ace. Sorry, he takes down the Nyx.
One bash and he's in trouble.
Still got a second round to go with, but these bashes are really making Wraith King's life hard. And usually when a face is void and a Wraith King going to 1v1, it only goes one way. Here comes Jesse with the BKB initiation onto Xani while Wraith King respawns again. And now onto Jesse, and Jesse is having trouble getting forward.
At the very least, HR have to disengage now, because they actually used the Chrono during the first life while they were still kiting Ace. You can see that Ace now has to start making decisions about when he wants to use that BKB, because if he saves it for his second life every single time, they're just going to kite the hell out of him during the first life. HR is playing this really impressively. Their shot calling for these fights is so good. There's a nullifier up on the Void right now. This man hits like a truck.
He does hit hard, but he's having difficulties trying to deal like sustainable damage. Like I mean, he's doing sustainable damage, yes, but he's not being a threat to neither the Wraith King or the Tiny. But it becomes a problem with the bashes. That's what really makes the big difference here. Ace will get rid of the Enchantress. He got really tired of the Bambi just bullying him. Like, take this.
You know, same, dude, same. Ugh, that deer. No, but the Nullifier is going to solve a really big problem for him, which is the Decrepify, because it doesn't matter if you Decrepify people after the Nullifier is on. It's a constant spell.
I'd like to have a friend. And
Well,
Jessie
his
shows
friend's
up.
right here to talk to him out, but that's not the right plan.
Avalanche doing a bit of damage here, keeping them busy. At least Jessie with the BKB popped. Ace will go straight for the Nyx Assassin, trying to take down Lil. At least force the Nyx Assassin away, but he's already down. Misery, and there's the taxi service, and the fight's over.
That was anticlimactic.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yep, that was about it.
Yep. You can see 5-men switching their targeting now. It's like, alright, fine, you know what? This Void's not gonna die, but the Nyx Assassin needs to be in really deep to get his abilities off, and they've been focusing him down for 2 fights in a row now. He is so useful to get down, because a lot of the direct disables that HR have are coming out of that Nyx.
Oh, going on to Ace now. Getting taunted backwards. Zerachi and Xani.
Look at that damage!
Now they have the damage. Now they've got it. They've got it what they need, an Ace. He doesn't have the armor like the Tiny does, and suddenly he's feeling very defenseless, and Ace is out. That's the dominating streak.
Nobody has armor versus a double damage faceless Void.
Yep, that is the...
Nobody does.
That is a dominating streak cut down, and Void is on a godlike spree now.
Massive props. But yeah, they can put him up on the high ground now. He's going to reach his level 25 soon too, so probably going for the backtrack there. They haven't had to use the chrono in these last 2 fights. 5-men has to switch their fights up so much just because of the threat of that chrono and the way that HR are working around the BKB that he hasn't really needed to pop it.
Yeah.
Oh, Nyx found himself a Pugna.
Pugna's out. Aegis expires. Misery trying to keep up the chase. Oh, what an unlucky landing there with the jump on the high ground edge.
He got a lucky landing earlier, so I say those two cancel each other out. Is that fair? I think it's fair. So, one of the things that I've noticed is this positioning of Piladai. He has not been in the base, he wasn't really at the top fight either, he has been farming his BKB. This is 5-men's next step for that team fight control, because this far HR has been able to get away with using their BKBs pretty liberally. And I say BKBs, what I mean is the BKB on Xani. And this is at the very least going to force the Void into more defensive itemization here. Once Crystal Maiden pops that ult, you're either going to have to chrono her or you're going to have to bail.
Well, according to buyback status, it's only the Underlord missing it, so HellRaisers are feeling happy with maybe committing for a longer push here. Misery's just moving around in the jungle. He's not playing Bounty Hunter this time, but there's couriers flying nearby, which he might be intrigued in. Lil finds Ace. Stuns are out, and here comes Sriracha. BKB will be popped, so he gets rid of the Nullifier debuff. And he's moving out.
Just before this fight popped off here, all 3 lanes had a 5-man hero in them, pushing the waves, cutting the waves. So this is one of the few waves that HellRaisers are actually going to get into the base. They have to defend this mid wave if they want to go again, and I don't actually think they want to.
Yeah.
Oh, you see what that Void gets? What a bastard.
Spicy. Ninja Gears and Levelers being spread out, and that Leveler, is it gonna go for the Wraith King? Do they even want it? Because the Paladin Sword is really good for the Wraith King now.
It's okay, but it doesn't do as much when you're faced with the Scotty.
True.
I want him to keep it at the ready though. Like, Leveler is an item that you gotta have in your inventory, either on the Tiny or on the Wraith King, just because if you win a fight, you don't want to have to ship it out all the way.
Yeah.
You've got a backpack, use it. I've been hurt by Terror Blades not backpacking. Oh, that's just painful. They win the fight, they go to the buildings, but, you know, the metamorphosis has run out. And like, yeah, you wish you had that lever now, did ya?
Yep, you wish you had that.
Ah,
Ace
it was all yours.
between three HellRaisers players here.
Not a good idea. Oh yeah,
Oops,
he
still not
knows it's
going
not
in.
a good idea.
Yeah, he knows it's not.
A scourge upon
I'm gonna go in on
Sani?
that.
no more. Radiant's
Sani the assassin.
Yep. Casual CM strolling in the woods. Pick there. Also,
Look at
Xiba
Jesse.
hiding in the
Oh.
trees. Does he
Still
get out of
stun?
Lil? Lil gets the stun on this Tiny, but there's Sani coming in.
That's
And
really
they-
TP.
Yeah. Just like, yeah, forget about it.
That's still a lot of time wasted though. I think in this regard, HR are very lucky that they have this assassin duo that can move around very fast and not spend too much time, you know, forcing HR as a whole away from the dire base. But still, they have bought at least 5 minutes of time since this game turned around. Dracula has a satanic. He's ready to fight.
I wish this been just a pretty slow few minutes. Waiting for the action to finally unveil itself. Jirachi with the DD rune, looking for a jump on the high ground here. If he gets the opportunity for it, dives in between Ace and Misery. Stun from the Wraith King, but really good read from Lil, getting the Yules on the Mirana at the same time. So Mirana is unable to get the arrow connection. And Jirachi diving in deep, looking for the chrono. Actually just throws in his W there. Ace is observing. Mirana coming in with a buyback here. They still got 3 more. The Tiny, Pug, the Pugna and the CM still have their buybacks up. But Jirachi will start to force some movements in. Nope. It's going to jump back to the low ground. 700 HP still up on that tier 3 tower. And HellRaisers not quite able to destroy that high ground of 5 men yet. 13k ahead. Roche is up. And that's Roche number 3. Axe buff awaiting. And that will be great on the Void, to be honest.
It would be great on the Void. Let's see. I think the Nyx would also really like to have that.
I would still give it to the Void. Nyx Axe is great, but that bash on landing, must have.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Yes, he has it.
I
diplomatic manner.
yeah.
Unlock proc. Drops the Midas on the ground casually. Alright. Barrier coming to pick it up. Yeah, you could have had it in your backpack, but alright. You got room for it.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
So, how do 5 men win this fight? This is like their most important fight of the game.
It's a big puzzle because there's a lot of layers, but there's a BKB on that CM now, and they gotta use that liberally.
Yep, alright. Land spells, kill people, do damage. There's
Sure.
the Axe from the Tiny doing a decent amount. Jirachi jumps, gets a bit of that back. Sani hitting the back line, and Xiba in trouble. Silence, stop, taunted up as well. And Pugna's out. Pugna coming with a buyback into this fight. And Jirachi, when do we see the chrono coming out? Not quite yet, just turning around onto Ace. And there we go. Isolates the Mirana. Mirana unable to do anything here, but the Decrepify has landed. The Mantle Wolf did just take it away. And then Ace is turning around again for another fight, but he is slowly running out of life number 1, and that is down. Mirana is dead, CM is dead, Pugna's also about to fall, and Ace is up. BKB popped up, going straight for the Underlord, trying to take down him, but Vonic will live. Now Wraith King BKB's already run out. He's just going to get controlled by the entire HellRaisers team, and GG is called. Game number 1 going for HellRaisers.
Jirachi, so big, so well played. It's like during this entire engagement, they got half of his health. There was just not enough damage anymore on 5 men. And that's surprising, honestly, because they built that entire mid-game squad with the Tiny, with the Pugna, in order to, you know, keep killing HR, keep pushing them back, 100 to zeroing anyone in sight, and then Ace was supposed to come through with a push in the end, but they didn't push hard enough. They only got 1 tower out of that, 1 base tower, and that was it. then Dyrachyo gets his Skadi, and everything gets turned around. Massive props to HellRaisers for how hard it was to get to that timing, but how well they executed into it, and then just the switch that they made. They flipped the entire game on its head like it was nothing. It's like, all right, we're in charge now.
Yep, they definitely withered pretty well against the storm that 5men were applying to them early on, but I have to give it to Lil. Lil played a really good next game here, and super important plays as well. We saw 5men pushing on the high ground of HellRaisers, which was like, all right, well, I mean, they could take racks. They got a tier 3 tower. They didn't really get... Did they even get any buildings, actually, even down from that high ground? Yep, so just the tier 3 tower, that's all they got, and ever since then, it was just HellRaisers waiting for the killing blow, basically. They did have some good fights for 5men, but HellRaisers just seemed so much stronger with their damage output. Void seemed unstoppable in most fights.
Yep. Don't have much to add to that, honestly. The only thing I can say is that 5men do look extremely disciplined in buying their time. The way that they're split pushing is that this is part of like their core training regimen. You can really see that they are so focused on it. And maybe they're a little bit too focused on it. I could see a couple of moments this game where they were very clearly focusing on distracting the enemy as opposed to finding moments where, you know, they could actually get pickoffs or turn the tide of that momentum. Because in the end, I don't think Ace could ever fight this Faceless Void again.
Well, we'll have to see what happens in Game 2. That's going to be the last game of the entire evening, so stay tuned. 5men versus HellRaisers will continue in just a bit.